Every single story has these secrets kind of hidden between the lines. So today, we're going to build a toolkit that's going to help you find that deeper meaning, that big universal message the author really wants you to discover. Let's dive right in.
We've all been there, right? You get to the last page of a great book, or you watch the credits roll on a movie, and you're just left sitting there thinking, okay, but what was the point of all that? It's a super common feeling, and believe me, there's a pretty straightforward way to find the answer.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to nail down the difference between a topic and a theme. Then, I'll give you a super simple 3-step method you can use on anything. We'll even see it in action with a short story, and finally, we'll look at how authors get kind of sneaky and weave these messages in for us to find.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute foundation. Getting the difference between a topic and a theme. That is the key. Once this clicks for you, I promise everything else is going to fall right into place.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. The topic is the what. It's just the subject, usually a single word like love or courage. But the theme? That's the so what. It's the universal message, the big lesson the author is teaching about that topic. And get this, it's always a complete sentence.
Let's dig into that just a little bit more. A topic is basically an abstract noun. You can't literally touch loyalty, right? Or see happiness. These are those big, powerful ideas that stories are built around. They're like the main ingredients for the story.
And the theme, well, that's the final dish the author cooks up with those ingredients. It's a full-on lesson about life. So it's not just love. It's love requires sacrifice, or love can overcome hate. It's that universal truth the story is trying to teach us.
And this right here, this really gets to the heart of it. A theme is a universal truth. It doesn't just apply to some characters in one little story. No way. It's a message you can take with you, something you can apply to your own life. In that way, it's always, always bigger than the story itself. So really, this whole process is about connecting the dots. You start with a topic, that single big idea, and then, by looking at all the little details of the story, like how the characters act, what challenges they face, that's how you uncover the theme, that deeper, universal message the author's sending your way.
All right, enough theory. Let's get really practical. Here's a simple 3-step method that you can use to unlock the theme in literally any story you read.
Okay, here it is. Step 1. Find the topic. What's that one-word abstract idea that's right at the heart of the story? Step 2. Find the theme. You just have to ask yourself, what's the author trying to teach me about that topic? And step 3, my favorite part. Find the details. This is your evidence. You get to be a detective and hunt for those specific moments in the story that prove your theme is the right one.
So, you want to see this method in action? Let's take a short myth and put our new toolkit to the test. This is where the magic happens.
So here's the setup. You've got this poor, vulnerable little bird with a broken wing, and it desperately needs help. It goes up to these 2 big, strong trees, an oak and a willow, and they just cruelly turn it away. The main conflict is right there from the get-go.
All right, time to apply our method. Step 1. Based on what we just heard, a creature needing help, others refusing, what do you think the big, abstract idea is here?
Yep, the topic is kindness. The whole conflict hinges on whether characters show it or not. The story is basically a test to see who will choose compassion and who will choose selfishness.
Okay, moving on to step 2. We know the topic is kindness. So what's the author trying to teach us about it? What's the universal message being sent here?
The lesson, the theme, is simply the importance of kindness. Now notice, it's a complete sentence. It's a full thought. It's not just the word kindness by itself. It's a message about why kindness actually matters.
And now for the final step, the prove it step. We've got our theme, but we need to back it up. So where is the evidence in the story that supports this idea that kindness is so important?
And look, the evidence is laid out perfectly in the story's ending. The unkind trees, the oak and willow, they refuse to help, and what happens? They face a negative consequence. They lose their leaves. But the kind trees, they offer shelter and get a reward. They get to stay green all winter. The story draws a direct line from actions to outcomes, proving its message loud and clear.
Now let's be real, most stories aren't quite that straightforward. Authors hardly ever just spell out the theme for you. They imply it, they weave it into the story, which honestly makes it way more fun and rewarding when you discover it for yourself.
This is what we call an implied theme. It's not just written out for you in black and white. You have to put on your detective hat again. You infer the message by looking at the clues the author leaves behind. And let me tell you, the biggest clues are almost always found in the characters.
Think about a character we all know, Cinderella. How does she reveal the theme? Well, look at her actions. She is kind to everyone, even when she has nothing. Look at her dialogue. She never says a hateful word. The conflicts in the story just highlight her grace under pressure. And her growth, that final reward, is the ultimate proof of the theme, that kindness and perseverance will always triumph over cruelty. Her entire story is the theme brought to life.
So now it's your turn. I want you to take this toolkit and try it out on the stories you absolutely love. Look closer at the characters, the conflicts, and ask yourself, what is that deep universal truth the author is trying to share with me? You'll be amazed at the powerful messages you start to find.